Hey friends, welcome to the season of Advent at Fellowship Church. We'd sure love to share it with you. Please remember that we have our Christmas Eve services coming up this year. Christmas Eve, December 24, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Love to have you there. Hey friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always love connecting with you midweek. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying this little bit of warmer weather, and love to share some thoughts with you about the visit of the Magi to Jesus. Now friends, if you remember from last week, Matthew's gospel tells us about some people, the Magi, coming to visit Jesus shortly after he was born. Some would say it was within a few months. Some would say it was later than that. We're not sure. But some gentlemen show up at the manger scene, Joseph and Mary there. And these Magi, we think they were probably wise men from another country. Magi were probably astronomers or astrologers. But anyway, they had received some kind of revelation. They were coming to Jerusalem, to Bethlehem, to see Jesus, and they had some gifts with them. And last week we talked about the fact that they brought gold. Gold was a gift that was fitting for royalty. Gold is expensive today. It was expensive back then as well. So when the Magi brought gold, they were obviously saying something about Jesus. We believe that he is a king of some sorts. Well, here's the next gift. They also brought something called frankincense. And as a kid, we used to joke around that they brought Frankenstein to Jesus, but no, it's frankincense. Well, what in the world is frankincense? Well, friends, frankincense is an incense. It's an oily substance. It also comes in kind of a resin type substance. It's not grown in Israel. It's not grown anywhere close to Israel. We're not sure where they would have got frankincense 2,000 years ago, but we're pretty sure it came from Africa, and probably from the Horn of Africa. Frankincense comes from a tree. It's called the boswellia tree. You'll never remember that and don't have to, but that tree only grows in a few places around the world. Today, it grows in Somalia, and they still generate frankincense today from the boswellia tree. So they gathered this frankincense and they brought it to Jesus. Well, why would they do that? Well, frankincense today is used still as kind of an ointment. Some would say it reduces joint inflammation. It tends to be an essential oil. And some people even say it repels mosquitoes. I don't know about that. But frankincense today is more often than not burned like an incense. And it creates this wonderful smell. And people use it in religious services. And we believe that's exactly what it was used for back in Jesus' day. After all, in the book of Exodus, when they're talking about the tabernacle, God tells them to burn frankincense in the tabernacle. Incense burning is always a sign of like a religious devotion. It creates this smell. And the idea is that this smell is an act of worship. And frankincense, that's the expensive incense. It's like that woman who came to anoint Jesus, and she brought that pint of nard. Nard was the good stuff. Well, friends, there's incense, and then there's frankincense. Frankincense is the good stuff. Okay, well, that's all nice, Mike, but why would these Magi bring frankincense? Well, as an act of religious devotion. When they brought gold, they were saying, we believe that this child is a king. But when they bring incense, they're saying, in effect, we believe that this child is someone to be worshiped. Not worshiped in the way that they would offer devotion to a king, but worshiped in the way that they would say, this is a God of some sorts. I'm sure their theology wasn't all developed. They didn't understand the incarnation yet. But when the Magi brought frankincense, they were saying something. They were saying, this child is worthy of a worship service. This child is in some sense deity, divine, God. Even if they didn't understand all of it, they brought incense to say, we believe that this child is worthy of worship. And friends, that was a big deal for them. Here's a question for you today. It's one thing to say that Jesus is a king and that we're going to center our lives around him. We believe he's a good teacher. But if Jesus is someone to be worshiped, well, friends, that says something very different about who Jesus is to you and the place that he has in your heart. In your life today, is Jesus worthy of your worship and your praise? That's what frankincense was all about back then, and that's what Jesus is all about to us today. Friends, I hope that resonates with you. That's a great Christmas message in my mind anyway. Jesus is the center and source of our worship. Hope you have a wonderful week. Hope you're gathering everything up and looking forward to a wonderful Christmas season. We sure look forward to sharing some things with you in the weeks to come. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.